Good morning, student. Once again, I am here with you with a new topic, that is lesson number 4, the boy who found grain. Okay? Now, this is a popular Indian folk story that we will see today. This Indian folklore is popular with the Lepcha tribe of Sikkim. One day, a brave young Lepcha was hunting in a remote forest when he came upon a stream. Now, student, do you know what is the meaning of a Lepcha? Yes, actually it is a name of a tribal that belong from a Sikkim. Floating down the stream was the branch of a tree. Instead of leaves, it had beautiful blue-green needles, and the bark looked as though it was made of gold. The young man knew that there was no such tree growing in the valley. He thought that the branch must have come from L, and that is further mean that the tree lay somewhere upstream. Upstream means toward the origin of river, from where the river may start, upstream. So, one day, a brave Lepcha, what he was doing? He was busy in hunting. Where? In a remote forest here. In a remote forest area. Okay? Suddenly he came upon a stream. Stream means like a water, where the water is flowing. Now, floating down the stream was the branch of the tree. So, what was moving? What was floating with the water? A branch of a tree. But that branch was completely different. How it was different? Because instead of a leaves, it has a beautiful blue-green needles. And the bark looked though it was made of gold. Now, Lepcha was very aware of the valley. Now, he knows that though that branch must have come from Mel. Why? Because there was no such tree that was growing in the valley. And he also says says that the tree may lay somewhere in the upstream. Leaving his bag of game on the forest floor and forgetting all about hunting, the young Lepcha began to climb up the mountain. Now, what he was doing? He was hunting. But when he found such a beautiful tree, the branch of such a beautiful tree, now he left everything. And what he did? He started climbing the mountain. He followed the path of the stream. So excited was he that he climbed for day and day but never got tired. So he was so excited to find out such type of a tree. So he climbed on, kept on climbing and climbing day and night. And he was not tired also. In time, he crossed the forest and a range of snow-covered mountains. After several more days, he came to an open space at the heart of which lay a lake. So, he has crossed the forest, he has crossed the range of the snow-covered mountain. He went on several days and nights. And what happened? At last he found a space of the heart. That means where he actually wants to go. And where does it lay? It lay near the lake. Around the lake, the young Lepcha saw a whole lot of white feathers and wondered to which birds they belonged. He pressed on, and then at long last he reached a lush green valley. So, when the Lepcha reached near the lake, What he found? He found a lot of white feathers. That was wonder, that was surrounded or that was left behind by the birds to which they belongs. Now he had collected them, he pressed them, and at last where he reached to the lush green. Lush green means an area that has grown a luxurious of green and green plant, or we can say grass and tree. Okay? This was Smt.L.B., the home of Lepcha's ancestors. Who was living there? The Lepcha's ancestor. Ancestor means was their forefather. Okay? The sun was already setting when the young man reached the first house in the valley. He knocked at the stout wooden door and an old woman opened it. So what happened? When the Lepcha had reached to the mill, mean that time the sun was already setting. That means it was getting dark. And where does the Lepcha reach? He reached to the first house in the valley. And what did he do there? He knocked at the wooden door. And who came out? An old woman. And she opened it. She took him in and offered him a rug. Rug means what? You can see the piece of a cloth that we used to sit on. Then she brought him some hot water to wash his feet. Later, when he was rested, she served a simple but satisfying meal of roasted grain, fruit and milk. So, what she offered? She offered him a rug to sit. Then she offered him some hot water. For what? To wash his feet. And when he rested for some time, after that he offered him a meal. And what does it consist? It consists of roasted grain, fruit and milk. The old woman was soon joined by an old man, and the young Lepcha learned that the old couple lived all by themselves in that house, and that they were childless. The young Lepcha lay down on the rug and was soon fast asleep because he was almost tired, right? He worked for day and night. He slept soundly till the sun rose again. That means again there was a day. The sun has rose behind the mountain peak. And then he was awaked by the sound of children at play. Now here you can see the children are playing. Okay? He got out of the bed to find a little boy and girl running about the house. He thought they were neighbors' children, and that the old people had probably gone to work in the field. So what the Lepcha thought? The children, they belong from a neighbor, and the old couples, where they went to work in the field. But when he asked the children who they were, they laughed merrily and answered that they were the old couple. But when the Lepcha asked the children who they are, from where they came from, so what they replied? They laughed merrily, they laughed loudly, and what they answered? That they were the old couples. The young man was thoroughly confused. The children informed him that this was how their world worked. In the morning, they became children. By the midday, they grew up into adults. In the evening, they were old, but by the following morning, they were children again. In this way, they lived on forever. So, what the children informed to the lepcha? That during a morning, they used to become a children. During a midday, that is by the afternoon, they used to grow up into an adult. And by the evening, they used to turn into an old person. So, on the next morning, again they used to follow the same routine, that they used to turn into a children. So, this is how they lived here forever. That means, what type of area was that? That was an magical area. The young lepcha spent 7 very happy days in the valley. He roamed around enjoying the beautiful scenery. He saw a whole forest of trees with blue-green needles and golden barks. And morning and evening he saw a large flock of white birds flying across the sky. At the end of the 7 days, the old woman told the young lepcha that he must return to his world, as no ordinary human was allowed to live in Smt.L.B. So, for how many days the lepcha has spent there? The lepcha has spent 7 happy days in the valley. And what did he do there? He roamed around everything, enjoying the beautiful scenery. He also seen the forest of trees. He saw the whole forest of trees with the blue-green needles and golden barks. And morning and evening, what he saw? He saw a large flock of white birds. Now, children, do you remember when he was crossing the valley, when he was about to reach the Smt.L.B., he had collected some of the white feathers. Okay, so those white feathers belong to these birds, white birds. At the end of the 7 days, what the old woman said to the young lepcha? That he has to return back to his own world, because no ordinary human being was allowed to live in Smt.L.B. The old woman gave him the seed of several different kinds of grain as a gift. She said that if those seeds were sown in the village, his pupil would always have a plenty to eat. While lepcha was returning back, so the old woman, what the old woman gave him? The old woman gave him the seeds of several different grains, okay, like wheat, we can say bajra, rice, like that. And what she said, if those seeds were being sown in the village, the pupil would always have a plenty to eat. But they would have to be sown at a proper time. The young man asked them how he would know when the great time was. Just then a flock of white birds flew past them. The old woman smiled. She said that they would send a flock of white birds as a signal for the apt time. For the apt time means suitable time. The lepcha believed that this is how they came to have food grains. To this day, when they see flock of white birds, they know it is a time for them to show their crops. Once the showing is over, they began to pray to their ancestor in Smt.L.B. to send them a good harvest. So now the lepcha believe that how they can get a food grain. So when they see or when they saw a flock of white bird, now they come to know that it is the right time to show the seeds for their crops, right? And after showing it, what they used to do? They used to pray to their ancestor to send them a good harvest. So student, you might have understood the lesson very well. Now we will see the true and false. The young lepcha was hunting in the forest. True. The old woman did not open the door. False. The old man asked the lepcha to leave their hut. False. The young lepcha stayed in Mel for 7 days. True. The lepchas prayed to their ancestor in Mel for a good harvest. True. Now student, it is a time of a grammar. Now you have learned the adverb. What is an adverb? Adverb is a word that tells us more about the verb. Adverb of manner. Adverb of manner tell us how the action is done. For example, you can see the sentence. He slept soundly till the sun rose again behind the mountain peak. So soundly, this is an adverb. Okay? Here the adverb soundly tell you how the young lepcha slept. So you have to complete the sentence with a suitable adverb of manner. The young lepcha roamed around the valley happily. The children's answer left the young man truly confused. The old woman smiled at him graciously. The lepchas pray earnestly to their ancestor for a good harvest. The children played around the hut merrily. Adverb of time. Adverb of time tells us when the action is done. One day, a brave young lepcha was hunting in a remote forest. Here the adverb of phrase one day tells us when or at what time the lepcha was hunting. Now identify the adverb of time. The boys said they would study later as they had other things to do. So what is the adverb of time? Later. I want to play today while the sun is shining. Adverb of time is today. Please bring me the medicine now. Adverb of time is now. I will attend the ceremony tomorrow. Adverb of time in this sentence is tomorrow. I tried to call you yesterday. Adverb of time in this sentence is yesterday. Now using a word. In English, many words are commonly confused. For example, pour. There. Okay. Now you have to circle the right option for this answer. Which is a part of our body? Ear or ear? So both are different. So it is EAR, ear. Which is a collection of Which is a collection of animals? Herd or herd? Herd, H-E-R-D. Which is a part of your foot? Hill or hill? Hill, H-E-E-L. Which is a color? Blue or blue? Blue, B-L-U-E. Which word referred to travel on water? Sail or sail? Sail, S-A-I-L, sail. Now students, you have to choose the right option to complete the sentence. John is really making and doing. Both the word is there. So what is the right option? Making. An effort to improve his maths this year. We will make or do. The right option is do. Some work on our project and then we will go to the movies. Rahila is very good at making or doing, making friends. They have made a mistake in our bill. He likes to make or do his homework regularly. So student, you might have understood the story as well as grammar very well. Stay safe, be at home and go through the lessons once a time. Bye.